towards the Graves. We kind of hit on Quay being a little bit of a mystery in terms of why they're deciding to bring him in over Shadow, and they go straight towards his pick. We know Graves, if you can get ahead, if you can get towards your first item and start clearing out vision with that Umbral Glaive, you can just completely snowball the game.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to just wait and see on the other side, because we know that Bel'Veth can be quite slow, but we get Renata in the bottom lane, we get Summit on the Gnar here, a different champion from what we were highlighting before, and what seems like a partial flashback in the opening of our draft, and bottom lanes that seem to be just playing with range versus engage, as seems as LGD prioritize.
Yeah, if LG decide to lock this in, it will at least set up for Quay to potentially be able to target that bottom lane, have the stronger 3v3 coming through with the fact they have the Nautilus. I also really like that FPX going straight towards that Gnar. Gnar was one of Summit's go-to picks in the LCS. It was pretty much banned against him consistently in the later weeks, and then especially in playoffs. Gnar and Jace always taken away from this guy, something he has an incredible amount of confidence in. And now going into second phase, with junglers being down, LGD have their pick of the litter with what to take away. Lee Sin already gone. I'm curious to see where we go next in terms of, again, Viego technically still being open, Bel'Veth being there, and I'm sure if I could, look up Clid solo QID and see spamming it, LGD can do the same.
That's right. So maybe we just got to expect that to come through next. Little pockets like Kindred have been there as well. The Jarvan we mentioned getting buffed has also been played by Clid this split, so it doesn't feel like banning away the jungle pool is going to put him in a bad position. As 10 seconds passes over, I just want to see that final ban coming through. It'll give me some resemblance of hope. As the drum roll comes through, JinJiao the final ban. So take a bit of a tally here, Lyric. There's three jungle bans right against Clid.
Yeah, 3 jungle bans coming out. Just a lot of targeted roles now for FPX. Going to decide where they want to go with their final ban towards mid. Ahri still being open. Galio, another pick that Yeji has just loved, could really enable just supporting his jungler, which is what LGD look like they're going to do right now with the fact that you pick Graves, you pick something that's going to look to invade, power clear, and just become this strong team fighter. Lissandra very much in the same vein, right? Push and move, enable the jungle. LGD not going to give them that much hard engage, when both teams so far going in very specific areas, right? LGD definitely being the team that wants to go in, FPX with the Aphelios with Renata especially, wanting to be the team that kites out and tries to play from a range.
And yeah, G being the one who wants to play his favorite pick. You said it just moments before. The Galio is left open available. He locks it in. Fun fact about Yeji so far this split, he has played 7 unique champions. He's never doubled up on a champion until now, so this Galio is going to be his most played, and the team fighting potential looks unreal for LGD, just when we're talking about the combination of flavors that this team could bring out.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see what FPX will do. I thought it would just be something like the Ahri, just because we know it's Care, and Care just leans on that pick. So, well, I ruined it.
Okay.
I was ready. I was ready for them to lock in the Yone.
Don't do it.
Come on.
Oh, Clid.
Are we getting it? Are we getting
it? Clid loves Viego so much. It's one monster versus another. And in Clid's mind, he wants the abs instead of the... I don't even know what that is.
Also, where are you going to go with this
one? The Void, I don't know. I don't know what Bel'Veth is. Some kind of Empress, but hey, at the very least, we get Clid on a priority pick. Now for LGD, how do you partner this one up? Lyric, you talked about the Gwen a lot earlier. It seems to be the standard top side, but we get a Shyvana on someone who's not named Shanji.
Yeah, so this has been a pick that's just been coming up, like you said, specifically from Shanji. 3 games played on it so far, going towards that tank build, and just feels really solid, right? Solid in the laning phase. You're able to have a high impact in team fights, just chase people down with that Frostfire Gauntlet, and for LGD, really just trying to bring more ways to be able to get on the enemy backline, because for FPX, right, you're leaning heavily onto Lwx, making sure he's safe and that he can get through that laning phase. Very interested to see how this laning phase specifically is going to go, Gnar versus Shyvana. And then even factoring players in, right? Summit, someone who has been known for strong laning prowess, coming in against Chelizi, who has always been more of a weak side top laner in the LPL. Feels like it could do a lot. So already 2 drastically different play styles. We know we want to see LGD being the team, pushing the ball forward, being the aggressors. Can Quay get it done? Now he's stepping back in on the Rift. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of skepticism about LGD, folks. There's no surprise that a 1-4 team seems to be not in our clearest of thoughts, our fondest of thoughts, I should say. For FPX, it was a similar story, Lyric. I remember casting their 0-5 debut, their 5th loss in a row. They bounced back really nicely, and, you know, props to Summit coming in, changing a lot of the, I guess, the feelings of this team. The last series was all he played, so it's about being consistent here. On the Gnar, as you said, the laning phase for him in the past has been something of merit. So against Chelizi, let's see if that experience can trump over someone who has also, like Quay, been subbed in and out over the history of the LPL. As we walk into Summoner's Rift, FPX versus LGD. This is the battle to stay alive in my books, because a loss here for either team makes it even more likely that playoffs continues to be a pipe dream. Welcome onto the Rift, and Lyric, welcome back to the cast. This is going to be a doozy, if I say so myself, because SOFM and On are not on the Rift.
Oh no! Why'd you have to do them like that? Is FPX gonna at least expect a cheeky level 1 coming through from the side of LGD, but LGD not going for anything yet. Still would be time if they did opt into like a late ward going onto the enemy red buff, but doesn't look like that LGD are even going to go for it. So FPX prepping. I'm still holding my breath. It actually might happen, Hysterics.
I'm just waiting. I mean, JinJiao, he's a Nautilus. Every Nautilus wants this.
Every Nautilus.
But every FPX. I mean, there's 4 members. You're sitting
even Summit's still here.
True. They're still pivoting. Okay, JinJiao spotted Summit, still moving down. They're going to buy a bit of time here. JinJiao with the dredge line aiming up for Clid as a handshake is a good stun. Right now, FPX have a damage profile, but Summit has to go back to lane, and Clid's going to give it up while the bottom lane of FPX just walks away. So for LGD, a late invade that works out wonders here with Quay starting on the red buff.
I'm just so disappointed that since FPX committed for so long, it just seems like we were meant to get a huge payoff of 5 kills, 6 kills, 7. I don't know. Could have gone all the way up to 9 kills. Everyone could have died. But looks like with Summit wanting to get back to lane, not lose out too much in terms of the 1v1, FPX, like you said, will just give it up. A lot of good vision coming down for LGD in that bottom side jungle, so they're going to know where Clid is, even spotting him out here heading towards these Raptors with what was probably a ward put down by Yeji. So complete information in control for the side of LGD. Not going to allow for LWX or Hung to look for any sort of aggressive trades, and just going to fully commit to this cross map.
At the very least, FPX have their own vision, right? Tracking Quay here on the bottom side, and now that he's moving down to Krugs, LWX and Hung are just going to spot it out, but not too much they can do. Already a great start here for Assum and JinJiao. When we were talking over the clips before, Lyric, and Assum has been a bit of a surprise here. He set up the success in Game 1 on a Jinx, and we all know that's good news.
Oh yeah, always great to see. And just come back to the old days. Lwx Aphelios on the Rift. Sadly, that also... Yeah. Hey, those days are old enough. And those days should stay old. They should stay in the past. Okay. But hey, when you're getting so many AD carry bans in first rotation, you know what? We can give it a slide. As also something interesting, Yeji on the Galio is all pause. JinJiao.
Well, he might be influential with JinJiao coming in with the dredge line. Connects max range onto Care. Shielded ran great, and that's an instant flash charm in response, but Care doesn't get a better trade. His summoner's down, and Yeji runs it in with Predator to enable a cheeky summoner.
Yeah, beautiful gank coming out from JinJiao, right? You go for the level 1 invade, you guarantee the prio and bot, you use the window you just got to look for this gank, and ultimately just went out for the side of LGD. So we can see how that chain of events from level 1 impacted them being able to find that summoner spell in mid.
Okay, well, I also wanted to pull up what's happening on the rest of the map, because while we see the roam in the bottom side making bank, I want to point out that the invade towards bottom side has also influenced Chelizi here. Quay once again making himself known, as he won't be with a dredge line and no vision in. Smoke screen for the slow too. One of these guys might burn their summoners, and I feel like it's Hung, but he holds strong with end of the line, still creating a nice damage pool, and LGD continue tackling bot.
Right, when a pressure gank comes through, it doesn't matter that you weren't able to get any summoner spells or find a kill. At least being able to get that pressure and get that health advantage allows for LGD's bottom lane to keep being the aggressors. And when we look at comps going forward, I think LGD are just going to look to attack the same pain point, right? You know you have prio in mid. You now have that summoner spell down on the Ahri. Keep looking to do this. Mid jungle playing into Clid's face. making sure Assum and JinJiao get ahead and just completely shutting out FPX from the bottom side.
Well, the bottom side, I mean, that's the pain point, truly, isn't it? FPX's bottom side in spring with the narrative base. In summer, we still feel like they're some of the strongest laners as well. Hung and Lwx, it's been their story. And the fact that they don't get to play much of this early game, despite being able to keep up in CS here to give them their dues, it just feels like LGD came in prepared, and it's nice to see considering that it is Quay's debut. As, yeah, Clid can't get anything done here. Yeah, G's fine.
Yeah, Clid not going to be able to find anything. Still going to try and get some vision control back down for bottom lane. And right, we were just talking a lot about bottom lane. For FPX specifically, I feel like as a team, when their bottom lane isn't able to get an advantage, they look very unclear of how to, you know, snowball a game or be able to push the cogs of the game forward. They're very reliant of having push and bot, taking these plates, being able to go into the enemy jungle, steal away blue buffs, stack up dragons. So I think LGD coming in with a really smart read of like, hey, we have the Shyvana on top side. They're going to get super tanky. He can clear just fine with his E and just chill out. And in making sure that Lwx and Hung aren't allowed to be able to take over this game.
As JinJiao is setting up for a dredge line here. He's walking into the brush. The dredge line going to get him out of there with grabbing him down. Clid's joining in on the show as handshake from Hung, great as well. All these slows from the duo in the bottom lane means JinJiao burns right down, but the ignite on the trade for Hung, and Hung's ignite for the trade for JinJiao. Here comes Quay once again, and we're going to see if this 3v3 brews out.
Quay going in. Luckily, Clid's still here.
Hung is level 3, by the way, so he will get burnt to a crisp. This end of the line, double flash coming through. JinJiao setting up the engage with the bailout on Clid, but that doesn't let him turn it around. And for FPX, those summoners fell like flies.
I mean, one flash from JinJiao, and I guess an ignite use slightly earlier, getting 2 flashes and a heal from the FPX bot lane. So FPX bot lane still just continuing to be put down. Sadly for them, I don't really think they can pivot anywhere else. I feel like ganking Shyvana would be extremely hard, especially now that she's at level 6. Going for any sort of dive would just be incredibly risky with how much damage she could put out and how tanky and durable she will be. You could look mid. I feel like killing Edgy will be hard. Again, just having a lot of mobility, being a bit tankier himself. But you could perhaps look to blow a summoner. That summoner now opens up for Care to be able to lean into bot side. You could try to find influence with having Care there first, attacking Quay. But when Yeji has a global ultimate, it's a lot easier for me to say all those things than it is for FPX to actually execute.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that ulti, the Galio that Yeji's played so much in the past too, it's going to be such big influences. Here's an ulti in the top side. Chelizi taking himself on. It's the Ghost Burn. But Summit's about to go to the Mega Gnar, and even with a Dragon's Breath, I would be careful as we're right back towards mid lane. Care without the flash, but he doesn't need it, nor does he need the Spirit Rush. As LGD, Lyric, they're going to start making that play. Summit might be in a bit of trouble. This ain't the Cloud9 days. LGD have brought a party up to the top side, and Summit for now has to be wary.
Yeah, this one's going to be really dicey because Herald coming up, Mega Gnar timed out, Chelizi now doesn't have his ultimate, so a team fighting tool for each side not being up. I guess Summit
Wait, flashed. Against Gnar with Boomerang, collateral damage used. Summit holds on to his, he doesn't have TP, so maybe worth it considering Herald just spawned.
Yeah, Summit gonna be just fine. And now for FPX, trying to find a pick onto Yeji and maybe try to pivot that into a Rift Herald, aren't gonna be able to do it, so it looks like they should just back off for now. And LGD are just gonna go for it. But FPX don't want to give it up.
Summit trying to build up that Mega Gnar bar. Clid is now level 6 as well, but Quay just burned his ulti, so we'll see as Boomerang starts poking down. Clid looking for the steal here. The eye exposed, but it goes over to LGD as Quay wants to turn it around with a good end of the line, but they're in the pit by themselves, and Summit is about to go into the Mega Gnar. Care's hitting for damage as well as this Mega is so close. Clid flashing in. Summit making the name, bringing the Phoenix back in, and FPX with a triple over to the Galio. That's a fake one because it's Clid who is the successor.
FPX knowing if they could buy time for Summit to get that Mega Gnar bar back up, that they will be able to take the fight. They still don't get the Herald, but nice bit of gold injection coming their way is Lwx, Moonlight Vigil.
God. Yeah, that's a pain to watch. Lyric, Lwx and Hung back to their old antics in the bottom lane. The 2v2 looking successful, and this was the lane that LGD vertical jungled around, set up priority for Assum and JinJiao. They're holding strong in CS. The play topside just happened. Summit was already winning out top lane. And all of a sudden, with a 2K gold lead, I'm starting to favor FPX for this game 1 after we watch this again.
Yeah, looking pretty good as we see Yeji not able to connect the knockup onto Clid. And then here just being heralded into the Herald Pit. No flash on Quay, no flash on your top laner either. Beautiful Gnar ultimate able to come out from Summit with all of them just choked into that pit. Yeji could have escaped, but it looked like LGD were hoping for an angle to where they'd actually be able to take it, you know, land a 3-man taunt, have the damage there from Quay and Chelizi, but sadly just not able to get it done.
A 3-0 start here, and Clid looking good. I think we talked about this opening up, but, you know, Clid was someone we heavily criticized. Last split, at the end of last split, I should say, he looked like he's a really good addition to FPX, but this split has just been pretty woeful. But returning to top form, and now alongside Summit as well, these two putting on the show. And Lwx coming into Dragon now. I mean, FPX have a massive advantage. 3K is the gold lead. And you just look at all the CS differentials. LGD might find this Dragon, but I think the next couple of fights are going to be brutal to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I mean, Divine Sunder going to be able to do so much for Clid in those fights, or even just the duels. The Summit getting run down again.
Shyvana thing. Summit running in a straight line. He has no flash as the Dragon comes out once again. The breath is great. Chelizi chasing down under turret.
Oh, no!
Oh, that's got to be a tilter here. The body lays limp, and Summit laughing in his chair.
Oh, another engage coming out bot, though.
Well, he has bail out, and with the hostile takeover flashing in, the handshake hung once again. They want the reset, but LWX can't get the kill in time. At the very least, FPX get the trade, making it 5-1, and LGD suffering across the rift.
Yeah, that was brutal, especially in topside for Chelizi. Definitely not looking as acclimated to the Shyvana pick as maybe someone like Shanji is, who is spamming it, overestimating his tankiness a little bit in that Dragon form. Of course, you do get the bonus health coming through, but still, oh no.
They might be caught out, Heartbreaker over the wall, so flash wasn't available. Luckily, the ult is just enough as FPX will still turn their attention towards mid lane, but LGD not out of this just yet. But at the very least, Lwx, I think negativity gonna strike my casters. They are starting to get pummeled, and the gold lead is starting to really pile up.
And let's be real, right? FPX come in as heavy favorites. Like, sure, they might only have 2 wins on the board, but they've only faced top teams. They just crushed JDG, who are one of the best-looking teams in the league. And Hung, playing on a knife's edge, will be fine. Compared to LGD, who, like we said, we're kind of having roster musical chairs coming through.
Yep.
Quay and Shadow, Yeji and Haichao, Chelizi and Fearness. Just kind of numerous roster changes being made all over the board. It seems like LGD not even really knowing exactly what the best iteration that they can field is. So, seems like this is a roster that's going to need some time. Sadly for them, we are in Summer Split. This is the split where you want to do well and go to Worlds.
No time. Oh, we have to watch this again, don't we? Yeah, we do. All right, Lwx, you analyze this.
Yeah, the worst part is he even connects everything, right? Gets the damage from like the jump of the ultimate, the ease connect, damage able to come down. But still, even though turret damage was nerfed, the ramping damage still being enough to take him down. My guess is because LGD got that one dragon, and you know Shyvana gets more like resistances based off the dragons you take. Yeah. That was it. That one dragon did it for him. That like extra 5 armor and MR made him think he can get the job done.
If only they found it a little bit earlier. Well, Chelizi, he's still suffering in this lane. We continue to pan the camera up to the top side. There's Shyvana, who's 30 CS down. Might not be relevant right now. It's Krug saving the family. LWX must be the father as Super Mega Death Rocket comes through, and LWX gets close to dying, but the hostile takeover from Hung is so good. The handshake as well, but now the bailout used with Yeji joining in. The hero's entrance might be good for LGD, but Cares on the backline with a Spirit Rush, with an angle, with an Everfrost. One more to give a reset. He doesn't want JinJiao, he wants Assum. He's staying with the team. Spirit Rush, give it another one. The Orb of Deception too. I think FPX are just taking apart LGD at this point.
And Clid is just too big on this Viego. We saw how little damage they were able to do even when multiple members were focusing him down. Hung having his ultimate, able to give FPX some breathing room, gives him time to bring Karen to the fight as well. And yeah, the snowball just keeps rolling forward as we're at a 5K gold lead. Not even 15 minutes into the game, and Summit about to take top tower. It is brutal.
Well, we get to watch again because I was saying, Lwx, that Krug gives a bit of time for LWX.
It does. Even nice Gale Force away to make sure he didn't get hit by the Q coming out from Quay. That could have been enough damage to bring him down immediately. And it's like, cool, they're able to buy time to bring in more members. We don't get time for that because Quay is
has a death
alive.
wish. No Spirit
Quay's
Rush
alive.
available. Care has Flash. Thumbs in the air. That's it, my boy. But he is 2 levels down and 20 CS down too. So Thumbs should be the opposite way with this game and the way it's going. And Lyric, you know, we talked a lot about team fighting, or rather, you said LGD's comp, relying a little bit on Assum, on what we can do with the Galio too. I feel like at this point, the skirmishing out of FPX makes it so hard to even realistically have a conversation about how LGD come into the game and get to that point.
No, right? LGD, I think, definitely cannot 5v5 FPX anymore at this point. Clid is too big. You're going to be able to take down one member, just set up a reset city. They're going to have to lean heavily into finding picks, creating numbers advantages, which, if FPX is smart and just keeps leaning down towards the spot lane, which they have, ignore your topside camps, keep Clid here, prevent all these plays and dives from coming through, Clid's only going to get bigger.
Good dredge line onto LWX. A Baylor out there with his ult missing as well. They'll actually get the kill, but Clid is the Fed member, the raid boss here. The level 10 Viego who flashes away. Yeji once again turning it with the dredge line in from JinJiao. His team leaves him behind. Care flashes forward. The Everfrost may have missed, but Care still smurfing here on LGD. And just when you think it's going bad, FPX come right back in.
FPX gonna be able to use this Rift Herald, push down a turret, should even be able to guarantee a second charge coming out from it on the inner turret as well. And we saw exactly what we were just talking about, right? For FPX, you never even need to think about playing up towards top side or making your own proactive plays, because LGD right now are the ones who need to look for these knife fight scenarios. You know where they're going to be looking, because bot lane's really all they have at this point with the 0-2 Shyvana up in the top side. And as long as you look to counter gank, you're pretty much going to rack up more kills every time. LGD do find a nice pick onto LWX, but sadly, that's all they're able to get, because once Clid joins the fight, we see the damage coming through, Summit TPing in as well. LGD buy a little bit of time, with JinJiao going down and Care especially getting in range, Spirit Rush and Flash to land the charm. FPX are easily able to clean up the fight.
Easily the key word. 7,000 the gold lead, or a little bit under. At 17 minutes in the game, a dragon denied from that Shyvana too. And unlike the OMG games where we saw Shanji getting through a decent lane, Lyric, being able to move out to some of these mid-game plays, this time around we have not seen Chelizi really able to do anything outside of the lane. In fact, I don't think he's left the lane that much, because Summit continues to side lane and push him, now with a 1-level lead and still with 30 CS and 2 items.
Do we count walking over to Rift Herald, which is like, you know, 5 steps away, leaving lane? Because if so, he's left lane once. Okay,
Let's go.
He's sort of left lane once, but yeah. Sadly, after that first death in Herald Pit and then trying to run Summit down, he has not been able to have any impact at all. We can already see Summit a whole item up over him, taking the Black Cleaver, which is just going to let him win even harder in that 1v1 matchup. And my God, LGD being choked out of vision. When you're the team with the Graves, you're the team with the Umbral Glaive that wants to be pretty much doing this to the opposing side, but with this gold deficit, not going to happen. And, you know, we came into the day, and you said, well, what did you say about LGD? You said something about flavor.
I did say something about
You said such
flavor.
a good flavor. What flavor are LGD?
Right now,
Did you come up with it?
Right now, they're pineapple ice cream. You're a little bit skeptical, but you wonder how it's going to taste as JinJiao gets grabbing him down and hostile takeover hitting. Assum hurts his teammate. That's unfortunately a bit of mind control technique from Hung, as the inner turret is threatened and the top side will be well defended. But look in the bottom lane, that's the trade coming through as Care's buying the space. LGD looking for the longest Yeji they've ever seen, but as he ults in, Quay's already dead. And Yeji is about to feel the same love. That's an easy one, an easy double, in fact, with 18 stack Magi's. Even under the turret, LWX and Summit are playing with their own type of flavor. He's about to go to Gnar too. Why are you challenging him?
No!
Big bad Summit, better than NA, you better believe it.
This is so brutal coming out from FPX, outplaying LGD everywhere on the map continuously. LGD keeps trying to find the fights, but sadly for them, Summit, Care, and Clid are just coming up huge. Heck, we hit on earlier, FPX need their bot lane to be ahead to find a win. that is not spelling out true in this game. As we're going to go straight to the replay bot side.
Oh, no.
Care able to stop the TP with a charm. Unfortunate timing from Yeji. And then beautiful use of the Spirit Rush here. He's going to dodge out on the knockup to come through from Yeji. Doesn't get taunted. And then at this point, it just looks like FPX are playing with their food.
It's at this point, we're putting this one in the too hard basket, I feel, for LGD. Game started off nicely, but has since gone downhill. We watched mid 2, and I just love that Lwx never changes.
No, Lwx, like, think about it, right? Walks up right at a turret in their face, doesn't care what's happening, doesn't see Shyvana on top side. He knows his team's going to find the kills regardless. Summit waiting in the wings, able to hit Gnar. Clid.
Okay, dredge line out, not going to catch Clid. But from that last replay, one thing's obviously evident. NA needs to bring all talent to the LPL. And then, Worlds may be in the bag. As LGD getting pursued down the mid lane again. Hung's ulti stretching out and will hit 3 people. That gives Care the 2-man Everfrost. FPX are going to make sure LGD bite the bullet again. As they run through mid lane with 4 strong members and Summit off to the wing. LGD do not stand a chance, even if they were given an extra 10k gold.
Yeah, LGD not big fans of, like, hey, let's stick to our lanes. Let's not walk into our jungle. Maybe get some shot, like, try and work our way in as a 5-man unit, get some shallow vision. No. 1-2 members constantly walking into enemy jungle, constantly walking into the faces of FPX, and FPX just keep benefiting off the mistakes. They're going to be able to guarantee themselves a Baron off this. LGD in no place to contest with Quay being down. And at this point, it feels like the only appropriate thing is to put an exact guess on how long this game will go.
I'd say another 5 minutes at this point because we watched
an
LGD.
26:30.
Yeah.
I'll go with 25. I'll say it ends quicker than that.
But how does it end quicker than that?
You know, if LGD keep doing what they're doing, they keep trying to contest for this vision aggressively in the face of FPX members, I don't think it should be too hard as they set up for Hung to be able to find the hostile takeover. And we can see now, they're going to get a dragon, but they're going to lose their whole base doing it. Maybe 25 minutes was even too generous.
Well, to be fair, that's stats for Chelizi. So, you know, hashtag worth at this point. He's gone for the Warmog second, and he's hoping that'll change something, but FPX, in the cost of that dragon, have broken down 1 inhibitor turret. Now the second, Yeji, golden under turret, but he will not be saved because it's disappeared. And right as he comes back out, it's a Care reset given over with Hung. Flashing for the handshake. How do you do? He shouts out to LGD, but LGD do not do well.
No, FPX definitely not a fan of pineapple ice cream is Care.
Okay, hostile takeover means that Care gets reset. That's actually the bailout to do it, but second turret shot bites at us as Assum wants his reset city. It's not given. Play Chelizi back over to the fountain. And Lyric, you were spot on. Closest to the money here. 23 minutes fast approaching. FPX getting low, might be backing away. Gonna say you had the 25-minute game in the palm of your hands.
We're close. We're close. We still have 2 minutes. Sure, a reset needs to come out, but look, base broken down. FPX reset, set up that bot wave, push down those last 2 turrets, and I mean, they're gonna have supers, you know, funneling in on all sides, right? They break down that final inhibitor, double super waves coming in all corners, and I mean, LGD are already in the ground. The coffin's been done. The ceremony's over with. Care here cementing it by landing another charm. Sure, goes down. But at this point, it feels like if any member of FPX just flashes forward, it baits LGD into the fight. And FPX are all like, hey, we all have 1 item at least up over our counterparts. We see Moonlight Vigil there from Lwx, able to cement some more kills there for FPX. And Care 17 stacks of the Magi's.
Yeah, and he only lost it. He only lost to 25 because he died in the last play. So, Care was full stacks. Care has been playing an exceptional Ahri game, which is, you know, something we've said on many broadcasts before. And this just looks like FPX remodeled once again. Talking about Summit coming into this team, and Lyric, I know that they picked up their first win before Summit started, but it looks like a brand new FPX that have reliability in maybe more than just 1 or 2 lanes.
I mean, we saw this game, right? Being able to skirmish in topside with your 3 members. Care and Clid as well, having an exceptional game. Care really stepping up, hitting these charms. Is gonna keep going.
Oh, he's got so many stunts. Quay takes an Orb of Deception, and the true damage hurts.
30 seconds. We're on 30 seconds.
Okay, well, that I said, you said 25, and I said, it was you, wasn't it?
I said 25. You had 26-30.
Well, at this point, I think you're going to be right on the money. Death Rocket gets care.
Oh.
Hang on a minute. Lyric getting down the wrong path. The shield of Duran not going to land. The hostile takeover does, though. Chelizi and JinJiao battle it out. Summit with another two-man ulti. He gets out of the hero's entrance. The re-engage there onto Yeji, who's slowed down with the house, but FPX still have the damage here. They've still got LWX. And Lyric, you could still be quite close as LWX heads off to the Nexus turrets. Yeji wants another engage, but he dies in 2 hits to the 80 carry of the FunPlus Phoenix. Summit flashes in again. Heads up another kill. And FPX right now are impressing me more than they did in the first 6 series of their split.
Yeah, FPX coming out looking incredible, all based around that top side, right? Finding early advantages with top, mid, and jungle, and then translating it down to, sure, they're pummeling our bottom lane, but now we can just start sending this Rio Viego, link up care as well, and it's so much harder for them to do anything, especially post-6, which is when we saw LGD, really putting a lot of attention down towards that bottom lane. It's like, cool, now we have the hostile takeover, and now it's even harder to dive or put any damage down onto LWX. And from there, it just became a mess. I do gotta say, if they weren't farming KDAs at the end, we would have been incredibly close 25 minutes.
That's true. Well, hey, look, you got closer than my mark, so it doesn't matter. I'm massively impressed with this FPX roster. Again, I feel like I cast a couple of their first 2 series. They did well against EDG to kick off the split, but then IGR and shit's like FPX looked defeated. Against LGD, making it not even look close. With the vertical jungle we saw at the start with the trade-offs that LGD were making, all it took was the one Rift Herald play where Clid got a triple kill at 8.5 minutes in the game, where there suddenly it definitely fell over.
And right, we just saw the lack of resources there, like your jungle now not having flash, you using your ulti in top side. It's like, well, what do we do now trapped in this pit? Do we opt for the fight? It kind of felt like they had to, and not able to win out, especially with Summit buying enough time for him to be able to stack up that Mega Gnar and then be able to find the key ultimate. Summit's ultimates this game just really being on point. And there's a reason why Care always goes back to this Ahri. He just looks so phenomenal on this champion. Please don't give me your flu from across the world, because that'd be pretty rude of you. But yeah, Care, you gotta stop giving Care Ahri. It's his best pick by far. We've hit on it many times how it's also his main in solo queue and has been his main for quite a long time. And it just feels like every Everfrost, every charm was just always able to hit.
Yeah, I mean it's Care's Ahri, as you said. It's his pick that continues to be a menace. And I need to pull open the stats here, because Care right now, 5 games now played on the Ahri, his most played. And it's obvious comfort for him. Against Yeji, we saw the lane be decent enough, bit of a CS lead, but I also feel like, Lyric, we didn't get to see Yeji use his ultimate in primetime setting. We never got to see LGD in that matter. With primetime setting a full 5-on-5, that never came to fruition because of how far the game was already before it kicked off the ground.
Right, it felt like by the time we got to where he can start influencing the bottom half of the map like he would want to, I mean, that was already after Clid was 3-0 on the Viego. He wasn't able to find a good old opportunity towards the top side pre-Rift Herald when they were trying to find that setup onto Summit. It felt like Chelizi pulled the trigger too early, which meant that Yeji not able to get in there. So, sad to see not coming out from Yeji, not even not even involved in one singular kill this game. How often do you see that? What is that?
Never. Like,